Welcome to the video series, Mastering the Art of Conversation. I'm so glad that you're here. Let's just jump in and get started. This first video is all about pacing. Pacing, yes. So think about if you were running a long race, like a marathon, and you started running really fast in the very beginning and you were sprinting, you would burn out, right? The same thing is true when you're dating and you're having conversation. If you say too much too fast and you go too fast, you're going to burn out and it's going to fizzle and you're not going to get to the end. Like in the race, it would be getting to the end. Here, the prize is actually having a great relationship. So let's talk about pacing. So earlier on in a date, or earlier on when you're dating each other, you want to make sure that you're not doing too much too fast. You're not oversharing, you're not telling too much, you're not just sitting in front of each other and talking. Oversharing is really uncomfortable and awkward, right? We all know when we've done it, and we all know when someone else has done it. It's a little bit too much. And when you do too much too fast and you share too much too fast, it really burns things out. It takes the mystery out of the equation, and there's not a whole lot left to look forward to. I remember on one of my dates a long time ago, we were perfect on paper, and when we first saw each other, I think we were attracted, and we sat across from each other at this dinner for too long, and we talked about way too much, and I never wanted to see him again, actually. So pacing is super important. So here are the most important things that I want you to understand about how to do this right. Number one, you are going to be your true, authentic self right from the very beginning, but you're going to be drip feeding. You're going to kind of carefully think about what you're sharing, right? Would you say this to somebody that you don't know yet? Is it appropriate to say? You want to filter things out just a little bit. It's kind of like a poker game. I know we don't like games, but you want to carefully lay your cards out, at a very important time and a very specific time. And so if there's something going on in your life personally, maybe you don't share that just yet, right? You don't want to share too much about your past or previous relationships or about money or your family stuff. That's heavy stuff, and you cannot share that too soon. You want to pace that out over time. Okay, that's number one. Number two, pick dates that are not going to require you to do so much talking. Take the pressure off. And so that looks like dates where you're doing something together, like an activity, a hobby, a sport. I like to tell people to go dancing or to go to a sporting event or to go to a museum, because you're not sitting across from one another face to face, required to spend all this time. It's too intense. It's way too intense. But you can have moments during those dates where you're sitting. So maybe, like for example, on my very first date with my husband so long ago, we went rock climbing for hours, but we hardly even talked because he was up high and I was down low, right? But then afterwards we went and we had dinner, and it was just a short dinner because we had spent so much time together already. That's a great example, if I don't say so myself. So the way that you draw this out is that your dates can be switched between having a date, maybe a coffee date or a dinner date, and then an activity date, and then another talking date, and then another activity date. You just don't want to set yourselves up for the potential to overshare, because that's too much of a burden for an early blossoming relationship. Remember, going slowly is going to be what gets you to the end, okay? Not fast. You're going to burn out. And it takes time to really get to know someone well. You cannot get to know someone in a 2-hour conversation over dinner. And I know it's tempting when there's a lot of chemistry and things are feeling good to keep going, but this is the part that makes it so exciting, is that you prolong that and you cut that date off and you resume it on another date. Leave something to be desired, leave something to look forward to, okay? You can be your authentic self right from the very first moment, but you're just not opening the floodgates. You're not turning on the fire hose and spraying this person in the face with your stuff. You're slowly drip feeding it to them so that there's a little bit of intrigue and a little bit of mystery going on between you, and there's more to look forward to on your next date. So that's the quick tip about pacing in conversation, and I'll see you in the next video.